Hello, I am Energy, and I am the master and commander of AIM. Oh, not really. You're pretty new to the scene. I founded AIM in 2005. We walked down to a school in Redfern, and since then, I've been able to help take it around the world. It is because of my force that this organization is helping change the world. Okay, everybody, welcome to IMAGI-NATION TV. This is my pal Energy. I am the star. And today we're kicking around the concept of knowing yourself. So pumped to have John Paul College as our partner school today. And we've got our co-host for the day alongside me is Abby Lamb. Abby, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What's happening? Have you got a question for Energy? Yeah, go on, ask me a question.
Today's theme is know yourself. How well do you know yourself?
Well, I think I've found that I have one focal role. Energy.
Understandable?
You?
Just, I don't know.
Tough question. Tough question. Okay, we're going to keep rocking through. We've got a live audience who are with us today. We've got Owen hanging out. We've one of Mackenzie there, Caprice, Kyan, and Tamika who are here. So thank you all for joining us and being part of the show. And we're about to jump into the Principals Challenge. So we are pumped to be able to be hanging out with Steph O'Meara, the principal of John Paul College. Steph, how are you?
Great, thanks. How are you this morning?
Yeah, fantastic. Steph, how has it been being able to be a principal during these times? How are you handling it?
No, good. It's we've got amazing teachers and we've got amazing kids, and so it's been a bit challenging at times, but overall it's been good.
How have you kept your energy up? How have you been able to be like a tree and take the carbon and then turn it into oxygen? How do you keep that smile on your face?
I think you've always got to look at the positive things that are happening. I do make sure that I look after myself, so I try and do walk every afternoon and just hang around with people that I love and admire, which makes me always feel really good.
Yeah, awesome. I once got taught that that you can kind of do a little square and then you can build right on the side people and places, and then you can put a plus and a minus there, and a plus and a minus, and you look at the people and the places that give you energy and that take energy away. That's me. And that take energy away from you. And when I did that, I was like, oh wow, those experiences really give me energy, and those people really give me energy. And a lot of people in my life at that stage were taking energy away from me. And I thought, yeah, over time, you don't have to get rid of people, but you can kind of think about the experiences and the places that really give you fuel and give you energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this cat over here. All right, let's jump into the challenge. 60 seconds. We'll start the timer, and here we go with the questions.
Beautiful.
What is your most treasured possession?
Oh, I think that would have to be, it's not a possession as such, it would be my family.
What is your secret power?
My secret power is my laugh.
What quality do you most like in puppets?
Their eyes.
Who is your hero of fiction?
Oh, that would be Wonder Woman and her lasso of truth.
Oh, which words or phrases do you most overuse?
Probably
What is your most marked characteristic?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
What is your most marked characteristic?
Oh, probably my sense of positivity.
What is your motto?
My motto, if it doesn't work the first time, have a go the second time and keep going till it works.
I think that's an awesome one to end on. Thank you so much, Steph, for joining us, and thank you for everything you do. One of the toughest jobs in the world and one of the most critical ones, being a principal and a teacher. So thanks for everything that you do.
Thanks, Jack.
Abby, what score would you give your principal out of 10 for the challenge? Abby, off mute. Here we go. We'll come back to you in a moment. We're going to go and hang out with a wizard. I love wizards. This guy's name's Price. He's a writer, storyteller, director, creator. Wizard.
Hey everybody. Hello to everyone at IMAGI-NATION. So I was just trying to get everyone's attention, so apologies if you're not into 80s satanic speed metal. My name is Price. I'm a director. I direct TV commercials and just finished my first feature film. I guess what I wanted to say was just do what makes you happy and ask questions. And if you don't know something, ask a friend. The secret to everything now anyway is do it yourself. No one's gonna make you do anything, and like art is basically the thing that no one asks you to do, right? So it has to come from within you. I still don't know what's going on, and I'm 41 years old, and we're making it up as we go along most of the time, but all that happens is you gain more and more experience. So when you make it up, you're more likely to get a great result because you've just got more experience. It's just making up, isn't it? There's anyone who says they're not still learning or making up as they go along is a liar. When I was, I guess at your age, I would kind of like get lost in my head a lot and feel, oh, I'm not sure about that. That's something I've seen. Is that me ripping that off or whatever? Well, everything has already been ripped off. There's a great quote by Pablo Ferro who says, "There's everything." Nothing is new anymore, only that which has been forgotten. Now, I kind of agree, because everything is just loops of recycling, right? We recycle culture. Take something you're into and just replicate it. It's the only way, because at least that makes you excited because you chose to do it. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to just share, and it was this really simple exercise, and it seems really dumb and really like, why is this connected to anything? I honestly would encourage you to do as follows. Cue up a song that you love. Shut your eyes. Have a pencil in your hand. Play the music. And just free exercise with your pen. Get a large sheet of paper. It's like an A3 or an A2. And just draw for the entire song. Just do it. But what happens is that at the end of it, you have an abstract painting that's come from a weird place. And this picture might have symbols and images that trigger ideas or whatever. It could do anything. It might make you never want to do it again. But all I'm saying is that ideas have to start from a place, and that place is in your own head, and no one's going to make you think it. So that's a silly little experiment that I'd love you to all try. The main message is don't be scared. You don't understand how to do anything, but you got to try and you got to fail. Fail as much as possible, because we only learn from our failures. And I wish you all the luck. Arrivederci.
Awesome. And also I think we must have cut him off just towards the end there. So that was really good. Great to have you, Price, kicking it with us, and some complex ideas in there. And, one of the realities of maybe every moment, and it's just been brought into the spotlight a lot more now, is, my gosh, you have to be able to create to get out of tough times. You have to be able to invent new realities, and you have to be brave enough to come up with those ideas and to make it up on the run, and then to do it. And our generation is going to face that as much as any significant moment in human history when we've had to re-evolve massively. And there's going to be a responsibility for us to go, we have to invent new ways of doing things. And it can be a high pressure scenario to go into, and that's where diamonds are formed. So I think it's great to see people like you, Abby, jumping in to co-host and put your hand up. And I think the more you can be doing that, the better. What made you want to co-host today and to put your hand up to be a part of this experience?
Well, it's a wonderful experience, and I thought it'd be quite fun. I've seen your videos, and they're just wonderful, honestly, and I just wanted to be part of it. So
Cool. It's good to have you here. And as Price was saying, you know, we make it up on the run. So that what we're going to do for the live audience, for our youngsters from John Paul College, yourself included, Abby, is make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. And once we kick into our first artist's performance on Imagination Music today, we're going to do that challenge that Price set us and do some free drawing and see what artwork we can create. And then we'll hold up our artwork so as we finish that and get going. All right, we're about to introduce our panel and jump into the final day of writing on Imagine the Film.
Most of us love the story of the child who is sidelined by life because of the situation they were born into or the color of their skin, and then one day becomes a champion or a success or a hero. This is the kind of story we hope will inspire marginalized kids to dream big and make their dream come true. But what if we did it differently?
How are we gonna do that?
Flipping the script is about not letting the hand you've been dealt stop you from achieving your goals.
Imagine realizing that you can actually flip the script that's been given to you and start writing your own story.
We have to challenge the norm.
So what if we ask the kids we don't usually hear from, the ones who are sidelined by life, to be our storytellers?
The project Imagine gives us all the power to flip the script.
We invite all of you, all humans everywhere, to join us in a live experiment.
The time for talk been over. It's time for some action.
And there is genuinely no limit to what you can achieve.
There is no limit to any imaginative juices.
Use that kind of like just around the corner idea, so you can bring in technology and ideas or social constructs that don't exist and bring them into this world.
Let's write the next chapter of human history collectively.
Imagine the wealth of stories and ideas just waiting to come into the world. Imagine the new horizons, if we flip the script. Welcome to the Imagine Film Project.
Pumped to hang out with our panel today, and we've got some great love coming through the chat line. Energy, my fave puppet, said Benito. Energy used so much of their energy that they're now having a bit of a rest. We've got Hannah saying wizards are sick. Becky saying, Abby, you are killing it. Dom saying, you're a legend, Abby, and loving those flags represented. All right, let's welcome our panel here today. We've got Cloudy Rhodes with us, Simon Taylor and Ned Benson. Ned, tell us a little bit about what imagination means to you and a bit about your story.
Well, my story is that I've just been obsessed with filmmaking since I was a kid and writing since I was a kid. And I think just having the avenue to, you know, use your imagination and run around and make believe has been so important to me and elemental in becoming a writer and a director. And, you know, I think what you guys are doing just plays right into that. And I think it's such an important thing to sort of give access to, you know, all kids, you know, a chance to really be creative and have fun with storytelling.
Has there been a project that you've worked on where you felt intimidated before walking into the writer's room and you had to imagine yourself to play the part of being a writer, almost Inception, like, all right, I'm meant to be here, like visualize your way into it? And can you tell us a little bit about how you overcame that? Every
single time. Like there's not, I continually, and it will happen for the rest of my life and career. I think any work experience, any writing experience or project, you know, the amount of trepidation and fear of failure, you know, always comes into you, you know, as you step into any room or look at an empty page. I think that's just part of it. And overcoming it is definitely a big part of the journey.
Cloudy, tell us a little bit about what imagination means to your world.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've been thinking about it a bit. I think for me, like being obviously like a non-binary person who didn't have a lot of that role models, like I've always had to sort of imagine a world for myself and imagine stories that I can tell for other kids like me that give them role models. And I guess for me, like my imagination in my filmmaking helps me when I read back on what I've written or what I've made, sort of gives me an understanding of myself. You know, it helps articulate for myself what's really going on for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's sort of we're playing out conscious or subconscious strands of ourselves, I think. And even if they're a few jumps away, we're sharing a feeling or we're sharing something when we make art and we create. Simon, and I think we've got Hans there with you. What has imagination meant for you in your world?
Well, to sound cliche, imagination is life to me, but in a way it's also a defense mechanism. So in order to deal with my obsessive compulsive disorder and the demons in my head, I've got Hans now. So he's kind of like a very complex character who is a star just as much as energy is, just FYI.
Yeah, I think bigger star. Energy's a bit too.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just dinosaurs have a territorial thing. But energy and imagination's life for me. I mean, I would say it keeps me going.
I think it's we've done this work for 16 years, and I've been privileged to work with young people around Australia and now around 6 different countries. And it's been the common thread that I've found. Like, I think that if you can unlock a youngster's imagination and keep that fuel going, especially if you've come out of a place that tells you can't be something, to a world that tells you to wanting to be in a world that tells you can. I think imagination is our journey. And I actually agree with you, Simon. I think it is the meaning of being a human being. I think it's our superpower, and we lose it somewhere. And I'm not sure whether that's been by design to keep power structures in certain ways or to keep people in certain areas, or we just sort of suddenly think, oh, I'm a grown up, I have to stop using this unbelievable tool, this unbelievable gift.
To quote Tom Baker or the Fourth Doctor, what's the point of being a grown up if you can't be a child sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a great segue for us to jump into this script that we've got that we're about to round out. And it's been an incredible experience. We've had prime ministers, we've had the granddaughter of one of my heroes, Dalika Mandela, join us, who's Nelson Mandela's granddaughter. We've had wonderful writers from across different continents all around the world. 100 plus Indigenous students have added to the script. Thousands of people in a live audience have jumped in and added their thoughts. And today we wrap up a project. And what's been so cool about this piece has been that we just chucked the Google Doc up and expected the best in each other. We could have been like, oh, what if people are going to jump on and write swear words all the time and ruin everything? And if you don't take risks and you don't expect the best of people, you never get a chance to see the best come out of people. So it's been really cool to see everyone contributing on this, everyone who's on the show, everyone who's been the audience, who's sort of built this in a yes and world and really supported each other. So that's been really cool to be a part of. All right, here's the story. So we've got a 15-year-old named Kim. Kim's gender non-binary, and Kim has got a really messy bedroom. Abby, have you ever had a messy bedroom?
Yes, all the time.
Okay, cool. I folded some clothes last night, and I just thought about how I was folding my little daughter's clothes and thought about how many years of folding clothes my mum did, and it's a lot. Anyway, messy room, really messy room. Kim lies on the bed, and then a claw comes up, hooks Kim, pulls Kim underneath the bed, and then Kim ends up through this vortex in an ocean, sitting on a tiny boat, and there's 6 islands. Now, Kim's secret is that Kim is a bully, and Kim is then confronted in this new world on a journey to try and confront what has made them a bully, and to try and come to terms with that monster, those demons, and face that across the journey of the 6 islands. Now, arriving at the same time from the future is an alien dog named Jeff. So Kim and Jeff are sitting in the boat together, and they set out on this journey. So we've got a few other different elements that are moving around that have been added into the script. One of them is that inside the ocean, it's a musical. So every time we drop into the ocean, we have the chance for an anthem and a full operatic style experience and musical. So that's a chance for a lot of our musician friends to swing in and play along the way. So today, I'd love to get very top level. What would you guys love to see in this story, Simon? What's something that you'd love to see in the journey of tackling bullying, or even just more broadly in a film that says Imagine as the title?
Dinosaurs.
Great. Follow that thread. I think that's all we need.
Crazy things.
Yeah, dinosaurs is great. We can build on dinosaurs. So why don't you take that concept for a walk? So Simon, we've got Act 1, Scene 10 for you to play with. So why don't you head off into dinosaur land and see how you can draw some sort of thread back to where we are. Ned, what's something that you'd love to see?
I'd love to see sort of things that exist within Kim's room that somehow manifest themselves throughout the journey. So in a way, it becomes a personal story to him, and those things can represent parts of himself in this sort of imaginary space that he enters into, whether it's on the islands or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got so Kim is gender non-binary, so we've got a they with Kim. And so as we move through with Kim, I was actually thinking that could be a perfect place for you to play today, which is to try and open the frame for us. And I think the former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull found his way into what might be the genesis of the challenge here, which is, what are we fighting for? And maybe we've got to be fighting for something where we're going to need the people who we've bullied. And that might be the tension point that we can reveal later on that builds a drama along the way. And so I'd love you to have a crack at the room. So Act 1, Scene 1, and setting us up in the room and trying to maybe land a couple of Easter eggs or set up what the challenge might be, or a couple of suggestions that our team can then build on after that. So Act 1, Scene 1, you can kick off the story for us, Ned, and have a play today.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And Cloudy, what would you like to see in this tale?
Maybe some sort of relationships or friendships that along the way.
Yeah, that's cool. Like what? Have you got a thought that you could build on, maybe with Jeff or with Kim?
Yeah, maybe with Jeff or Kim, like they find some sort of ally or person like them that kind of that helps them see something in themselves or feel seen, or something in that experience of Kim being seen in their identity through interaction with someone, maybe.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe because Jeff doesn't have a lot of weight at the moment. Jeff's got a pastel world in the future where they're from, and it's a futuristic universe. But I think Jeff can play such a fascinating mirror role for Kim in the journey. So why don't you have a play with Act 2, Scene 13?
Yeah.
And have a play with Jeff and think about what Jeff might be able to do, or tell us, maybe take Jeff's story for a wander and have that as a way of potentially playing in as a lens with Kim, or even just broadly teaching us a lesson around that in parallel. Cool? All right. The challenge has begun. You got about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll get some music going, and then we'll see where we land. So have fun writing, and if you're on the live audience and you want to jump in to the Google Doc as well, feel free to add in this. Today's the last day that we'll have it open, and then we're going to close it up after the show, and then we're going to get it into the hands of some writers, and then over the course of the next few months start getting this created and build a feature film which challenges us all to imagine what's possible. So let's get that going. Abby, what would you love to see in a film titled Imagine?
Oh man, there's so many things, because like when you imagine, you're just open to everything. Oh man, I guess just you could have like things from like the future or from the past, like 100 years ago to like 100 years, like coming up, like just could have everything and anything really.
Yeah, we could really dance around. Well, at the end of the show, we might get you to jump on the link and add 1 or 2 thoughts. And for our live audience today, make sure that you add a couple of thoughts, because then you'll get your name officially on a credit as a writer on a feature film. So that'll be something to be a part of. All right, we have our first musician today on Imagination Music, and we've got Hallie Tate here with us. Hallie, how are you?
I'm great, Jack. How are you?
Yeah, good. Can you tell me a little bit about imagination, what that word means for you?
Imagination, God, that means a lot. That means life. That means my whole career, I think. That's what I built my whole career on. I think as a songwriter, that's my main source in a lot of my life.
And what about knowing yourself? That's a theme we've been touching on this week. What does that mean?
I actually love that I got on this segment, because a lot of my music I've been writing lately has been based around knowing yourself. And the song I'm about to sing is actually about the beginning of that journey for me. So I think knowing yourself is so important for so many reasons.
Well, Hallie, thank you for joining us today. The stage is yours on Imagination TV, and thank you for joining us in the Imagination Music segment.
Thank you, Jack. This is called Released. Told myself I found my way. Told myself that for so long. Said I led people astray. My opinions are too strong. Well, it took me being alone to realize just how much I let slide. It took me taking my time to realize I want to let myself fall and feel myself fly. Held back my feet, that voice never mine. Told myself I got my way, but I didn't dance for so long. I just wanted you for one sunrise, and you never would, and I'd cry, lying in bed by your side. And it took me being alone to realize you liked the me I made for you. Oh, it took me way too long, but now I let myself fall and feel myself fly. Held back my feet, that voice never mine. I've never loved someone who truly releases me, so I'm taking it all back. Now I'm giving it all to me. I've never loved someone who truly releases me, so I'm taking it all back. And I'm giving it all to me, all to me, all to me. Held back my feet, that voice never mine.
Awesome. Here's my drawing that I did. I only remembered about halfway through because I got so lost in the music that I was like, oh gosh, I forgot to do the drawing challenge. So I'm not sure if any of the other students did it. Did anyone else do it? Everyone else forgot and got lost in the music. Oh, well. Hallie, so cool. That idea of, look, I think a couple of things, finding that something takes too long or to find yourself. Look, I reckon we're lucky if we scratch the surface with knowing ourselves by the time we leave the planet. It's such a big challenge. And, even chemically, we'll never even quite know. We don't even know at the moment what parts of our brain's consciousness comes from in complete exact detail, or where unconsciousness comes from, and where the subconscious lives. Yeah, there's all this stuff scientifically we're still trying to work out. And so I think being brave enough to ask the question is so much of the journey for us on our time here. And then the other one we spoke about, falling, like we just got to fall, like we just have to fall, and we have to land face first. And and this moment, I hope, is a moment where we feel the pain and we feel the pressure. And so many people, we're going to lose millions of people, and we've already lost millions of people around the world, and lots of people are being hurt, and lots of people are going to be devastated. Lots of people are going to lose jobs. We are all falling, and we're going to have to get back up. And I think being able to know that we've been able to do that, we've been able to fall and rise back up individually and collectively as a species is got to be the thing that drives us as we come out of this. So thank you for making music. It's critical to all of us and to our souls, and being able to keep moving. And it's been a pleasure having you here today.
Oh, thank you, Jack. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That was awesome. Awesome. Abby, what did you think?
It was honestly just so beautiful, Haley.
Thank you, Abby.
Like, it had so much meaning between the words and just like the tone of the music. It was really lovely. Nice. I've come from a music background, so we always have music in the house, and like we always go out to music concerts, everything, me and my whole family, and that song was beautiful. I don't know what else to say, man.
Thank you, Abby. That's so lovely.
Let's make sure we all jump on to follow Hallie, whether it's in Spotify or different areas, and all of our musicians, who so many have been generously sharing their music for free with us over the last 8-9 weeks in different ways. Not necessarily on this show, we've been sponsoring a song and giving $100 to each musician, which is not a lot of money, but just a little bit that we can help with along the way. So let's collectively work out how we value artists and how we support them. And if you can pay $2 for a song along the way, that's not a lot for someone who's dedicating their life to lift your soul up. So let's keep supporting them. Next up, we have Robbie Miller, who's joining us. So Robbie's going to perform for us now and jump into it. And Robbie's been a mentor in the program in Queensland for a long period of time, almost a decade now, if not just over a decade. And it's great to have Robbie bringing his soul and energy to Imagination TV today. So over to Robbie Miller.
So imagination to me is about making the unbelievable believable. It's making the kind of the impossible possible, which is kind of cliche, but it's something I've lived most of my life with. My parents, in particular my dad, growing up, he had this picture on my wall that said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And my whole life, through a kid, of sport to university to even now as an adult, my dad has always kind of pushed that if you can dream it, that you can do it, and that's how I've lived my life. And what does it mean for me to know myself? Well, for me it's about knowing my limitations, knowing what I can and can't do, knowing what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And to be honest, I spent basically my whole 20s and late teens trying to work out, what aspects of my life I was actually good at. And I think once you know your own limitations, you can really start to set yourself up for success. Now, my final message to the kids who are struggling in the world at the moment is just be easy on yourself and be kind to yourself. It is a bit of a tough world and it's a little bit confusing and everything's kind of up in the air, even now as a bit of normality starts coming back, particularly here in Australia. But just be kind. We're all in this together, and I know if we kind of stay strong, we will get through this just fine, and hopefully everything will get back to normal. So this next song I'm going to sing you is a song called The Come Down. Don't waste your breath, lay down at your feet, build it up once again, oh baby, take a seat. It's pushing and pulling, it is breaking my bones. Let's take it or leave it, it is turning me to stone. Don't waste your breath, telling me everything I do know. I got this lover that is on my mind. I feel it, even through this daily grind. I need her, show me how the shit does hurt. I'm screaming, begging baby to be burned. And I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. Don't waste your breath, breaking bones just for fun. Every chance that you get, oh baby, you're always smoking gun. It's pushing and pulling, it is breaking my bones. Just take it or leave it, it is turning me to stone. Don't waste your breath, telling me everything I do know. I got this lover that is on my mind. I feel it, even through this daily grind. I need her, show me how the shit does hurt. I'm screaming, begging baby to be burned. And I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, 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 oh. When time stops, your heart's fast, those blue eyes, a new Mars. One deep breath, deeper faith, dirty hands, will you wake? You're easily undone, but underlying truth. You start and you come down, you listen in the news. You're easily undone, but underlying truth. You started to come down, you listen in the news. I got this lover that is on my mind. I feel it, even through this daily grind. I need her, show me how the shit does hurt. I'm screaming, begging baby to be burned. And I said, oh, 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 oh. I said, oh, oh, oh. I said, oh, oh, oh. I said, oh, 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 oh.
For joining us on Imagination TV and being a part of Imagination Music. Abby, what did you think of that?
Honestly, it was just really sweet and humble. It once again also had a lot of meaning behind it because it like really shows you like everything's okay and like just yeah.
Finding that there's amazing things that happen with music. I reckon like sometimes I forget to even hear the words. You just sort of feel the feeling of what someone's performing to you and around you.
Exactly. It's like you don't feel it like just in your head and listen to the music. Like you feel it in your heart and like you like play along with your music and like I'm the same. I kind of forget the words for a minute too.
There's lots of things that words can't express. One of the things that Rob brought up was whether things will be going back to normal. They won't be, and I think the more that we are realistic with the challenges we're going to face, the more we have the ability to be able to face them. So looking at this time and understanding the complexity of just because we're going to go back to school doesn't mean we're not potentially facing one of the biggest economic challenges in Australia's history. We've just got COVID sort of banging on the doors in the continent of Africa, which is where we do a bunch of work as well, which could be unbelievably devastating to millions of people's lives. And there's lots and lots of challenges that come out of whether a vaccine is created for this disease and whether we can hopefully have the vaccine then distributed, and then how we're going to reimagine the world. So the challenge, I think, is that we don't set false realities on ourselves, that we don't lie to ourselves about the complexity of the challenge, acknowledge it, know this is going to be unbelievably unique territory, and then let's go for it. Let's get up every single day and work our butts off to try and make this thing work and to try and build a world that we can all hopefully inhabit for a long period of time, including the challenges with climate change, and reimagine what the world can look like. And our next group who are joining us on Imagination Music are a fantastic group of people that go around and inspire people day in, day out. And it's great to have Little May joining us. So they'll round us out and then we'll be back to our writers to kick it. So Little May on Imagination Music joining us right now.
I think this song was written from a place of feeling down and in terms of, ongoing conflict personally. And I think if you look at it, the song from a different perspective or like a broader perspective, it's kind of relevant in seeing, I think one of the lyrics is, I hope that someday we can share. And I think that's, relevant in so many people's lives. And it's a song that's kind of sad, but it also has a bit of hope in it too.
Cool. Okay. When you're ready.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
To the night, I will wait for your call. Expecting light of some form to be shared. Instead, I feel the weight of your stone-blooded eyes. See how it sinks. Instead, I feel the weight of your stone-blooded heart. See how it sinks. I still ever do. You remember this face. times the music, rhythms fall in your place. And can you feel the weight of my stone-blooded heart? See how it sinks. And can you feel the weight of my stone-blooded heart? See how it sinks. And I hope that someday we can share. And I hope that someday we can share the same ground again. And my mindless pursuit of happiness, you call for me sleepwalking down the highway road. Oh, that's a lie before the death of me. I can't contemplate the thought of you. And I hope that someday we can share. If you poke that tiger long enough, something's gonna rise. 'Cause if you poke that tiger long enough, something's gonna rise. 'Cause if you poke that tiger long enough, something's gonna rise. Something's gonna rise. Something's gonna rise. Ooh.
Awesome. Love those ladies. Hey, did anyone do their drawing again? Live audience? Yes, good. Show them. What do we got? Okay, Abby, really good. Mackenzie, very good. Caprice and Kyan, Tamika and Annie Daly. Well done, everybody. Really good learning. I love that. First time fail, fall down, get back up, do your drawing. Very good, very good. All right, we're getting towards the end of the show here. Pressure cooker, finishing writing, finish up the thought that you're on. Simon, Ned, Cloudy, and we'll come to you. And then Abby, what did you learn from today?
Just so much. I guess just like, well, from all the music, like there was like, don't be selfish, like always believe in yourself, like we're all here together, like we're all in the same community, we're all going through the same thing. And that imagination is like one of the most powerful things in the world, to be honest. Like in your mind, as your mind is such a powerful place and such a powerful thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Really well put. Yeah, it's a that imagination powerhouse is just like it's such a trip of a world. One of my really close friends was a part of setting AIM up at the beginning, and 16 years ago on Tuesday we ran our first concert, which was sort of the fundraiser for AIM's first program, and it was on Sorry Day, and we ran this concert called Indigenous Carnival, and we chalked all the streets of the university and wrote Indigenous Carnival, like $5 tickets, and every person that we tried to sell a ticket to at the beginning, every time I said Indigenous, like at the university campus, people would freak out and walk past me and be like, "Oh no, I didn't do anything wrong," or I didn't. And then I'd say, "Oh, it's on Sorry Day," and people were like, "Oh no, even more." And then I ended up just saying, "Look, it's going to be the coolest party on campus, and we've sold 900 tickets, whatever," and then kind of walked away. And then I didn't even tell my closest friends how many tickets we'd sold. We sold like 200 tickets the night of, and I was telling everyone we'd sold 700 just to keep hyping it. And then on the night we had like 800 people turn up, and it became this really special experience. And so much of getting to a place is just saying we can get there, telling the story of how we can get there so then we can play our parts. And Kabir, who was involved in that, has worked in Africa he's born in Nairobi in Kenya, worked in Africa for most of his life as a photojournalist, and now works for us as well. And he talked about imagination as a powerful tool for kids in refugee camps who may never have a life on the outside, who may never be able to achieve some of the things and opportunities that no matter how hard they work, they may never get that opportunity. but they have an imagination, and the imagination might be their space of freedom, of happiness, of joy, and a place they can dance to and smile in their life as well. And so I think for all of us, from those that have the opportunity and the privilege to maybe achieve some of our dreams through hard work, I think we have that obligation to kids around the world who may never get that opportunity, no matter how hard they work. And for all of us, imagination is one sort of sweet spot for it. So thank you for being a part of the show today and for co-hosting and bringing maturity and thoughts to it all.
Anytime, honestly.
Awesome. All right, let's kick it with our writers and see how we went. Cloudy, do you want to tell us where did you go to? Give us a sense of the story and let us know what happened.
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, I was kind of trying to find a similarity between me and the characters, because I also always find it so much easier to write from sort of personal experience. So because Kim's character was non-binary and we're working on the friendship between Jeff and Kim, I thought it could be a kind of interesting idea that maybe the future that Jeff comes from is a future where gender is no longer relevant or doesn't really exist, sort of like this non-binary world. And through that experience, Kim sort of feels seen for who they truly are, and maybe that's some healing for Kim in that.
Awesome. And how was it writing under the time pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I'm less of a writer and more of a sort of visual person, so
yeah,
it's always nerve-wracking for me. But yeah, I just dot points.
Yeah, perfect. Build the ingredients for us.
Yes.
Simon and Hans, how did you guys go?
Good, I think. We
Take
just
us on a journey. Let us know what you created and where you went.
we figured that they're still in their boat in the middle of the ocean. Oh, by the way, we worked out that the ocean was like a giant mood ring, so it changes color depending on how they feel. So it's black because they're stressed because they're running out of food and stuff. And then shark fin appears and the grey white comes through the water, and we hear the joys of music thinking they're going to get eaten. But it pokes its head up, and it's a great white shark called Alice, who is having a really bad day and he wants to know if she can help them. And then 100 yards away, two megalodon sharks, the ones from the Jason Statham movie, pop out of the water and start paying her out and making fun of her because she's short and not a real shark and should eat people properly. And then Jeff launches torpedoes at him because he's got torpedoes in his back now. Only two of them though. But they're scared away, and then Kim is forced to realizes that how Alice is getting teased is how she actually teased two kids earlier on with her bullying. So her and Jeff have to be nice to Alice, who's really an annoying shark, in order to get her to tow him back to the land. And that's kind of where we ended.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That Alice is really an annoying shark is such a cool idea and concept. Really cool, Simon. Thanks.
I couldn't make it Bruce because Finding Nemo's already.
Yeah. Bruce been done. And Ned, how did you go? Take us into the room. Take us to the start.
Just wrote like a little sketch. We open in a modest room. It's a mess. Clothes on the floor. A book bag with papers pouring out of it. School books in piles. A little carved wooden rowboat sits on a desk. Some abandoned toys and stuffed animals, plastic dinosaurs, a map of the Pacific Ocean with sea creatures on the wall. Kim sits on the floor at the foot of their bed, staring into a thought, looking overwhelmed, their brow furrowed. A head peeks in the door. Kim's mom. You gonna tell me about what happened at school today? Kim, you already know what happened or you wouldn't be asking me. Kim's mom stares at them. I have to deal with that other kid's parents. Kim doesn't respond. I'm just trying to understand why you're so angry. Kim, I don't know. Kim's mom stares at them. You gonna clean this mess up? Kim stares back. No. Kim's mom studies them. I'm so tired of this. Kim says, of what? Mom says, just clean the mess up. Kim stands up, walks to the door and says, get out. Kim shuts the door and stares at the mess in their room. It's overwhelming. They don't know where to start. Something moves under the bed in a pile of dirty clothes. Kim glances at it unsure and walks over to it. Kim squints down at the clothes pile, and then the pile reaches up and grabs them, like a claw made from clothes, and yanks them under the bed, as if it's made from a pile of clothes, into a psychedelic hole. Neon colors, faces from Kim's life, and then pop. Kim lands on a beach, on a tiny island, a small wooden rowboat on the shore, 6 islands. So just like a little like playtime, like little set the scene.
Right, love it. It's just it's so beautiful hearing that creation, Ned, and how you have taken things that are simple but are so important in devices of story, and that, you know, the little plants of the seeds of the map of the Pacific, or the little rowboat on the ledge, and that why are you so angry? That question, that big question, I think maybe gathers what we really want to explore, which is what is anger and how does it find its way out. And I think you did a wonderful job in a short space of time. So thank you so much for diving into it and for building a frame for us.
Happy to.
Awesome, gang. Well, that's it. Did you have a good time, Cloudy? How'd you go? Was that all right? Was it cool having the musos performing at the same time?
So cool. So cool. Really good for imagination. Like, yeah, I really zoned into the music.
Yeah, nice. And Ned, how did Abby go as a co-host? She gave a principal, I think, 11 out of 10 on the chat line as a score. So what would you give her as a co-host?
12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. Trump the principal. Perfect. And Simon and Hans, did you have yourself an okay time on the show today?
Yeah, a lot of fun. We love creative sprints. They're just a good excuse to just let your imagination go wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for joining us on the show, and that wraps up our project Imagine. And now we're going to move into the next phase and start building this out into a feature film, which we'll be looking to release next year. So we've got some writers that are coming together to work on it over the next month, and I've got a team that are going to be working on production. Then we're going to try and work with some of the best creators all around the world to really lift this story so we can show what's possible when we all come together. So that'll be our project over the back end of the year. We'll drop back into Imagination TV along the way. And from next week, you'll have a different lead host every week. You'll have people that have been through the program in Australia, and then we'll have hosts in the continent of Africa. We'll also have some hosts coming to you from the USA as well who have been mentors with us. And so that's coming away from next week. That's a wrap on Imagination TV. Have a good weekend. Look after yourselves. Keep exploring that big question of knowing yourselves as well. And thanks to our school today, John Paul College, and to everyone for being a part of it. And Abby, well done again. That's it. See you later. Have a good weekend.